Independent adjusters, let's be real. Think about it. Work isn't what it used to be. These insurance companies are making a shift. And if you do not shift along with it, you are going to be left behind. Hi, I'm Conticia. Welcome to Beyond the Claim, Unfiltered Insurance and Adjuster Talk. We're going to just dive right in. Now, most people tell me that I am being, I'm overreacting. All right. I'm exaggerating what's going on. But I'm going to tell you that I feel like I'm not, because I know how I used to work. I know my paycheck. I knew everything about my cycle of work, and that cycle of work has been interrupted. We have to be real with ourselves. These companies are they're pretty much leaning on their staff adjusters now more than ever. I call this period or this season for us independent adjusters, it's called independent adjusters versus the shift. Are you going to shift? I don't know. But I'm going to tell you something. You better learn how to shift, because these companies have a budget and they don't care whether their customers suffer, but they're going to reach that budget. And I'm going to tell you why I know this. It's because the last time we were on a deployment, we were on that deployment maybe for 2 to 3 weeks, and they were already saying they were going to release some of us. But we're looking and saying, wait a minute, look at all these claims. Some of the customer hadn't been spoken to in weeks. You will go into the claim and you'll see the email of the customer like, this is my 5th email. I've tried calling, I've emailed, and I can't get anyone. Will you please answer me? But they were already in the works to release us. And this was maybe like 3 to 4 weeks in on the assignment. Luckily, 2 hurricanes came. That prolonged us. And remember, I want y'all to know this as well. When we went back, we were not in our normal capacity. We went back working 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. I know some of you all are probably saying, that's pretty much what you're supposed to work. No, it's not. Not for us. We normally work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. When you break us down to 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, you've taken over half of our income. So that lets you know, first of all, they no longer want to pay the overtime. They had a budget, and I'm going to tell you something. They did not care if the customer service suffered due to that budget, because they put all this work on their staff adjusters. The staff adjusters had over 100 claims. There's no way. Oh my gosh. How can you really manage over 100 claims without someone being left out? These claims are hard, but I do know one thing. Now they feel like their staff adjusters can manage over 100 claims because they have AI. AI is assisting them with this. That's why I'm saying to you all, the shift is here. The shift is here, and you're going to have to learn to pivot. And I'm going to tell you another thing. Competition is here. The competition is increasing because you have more and more adjusters in the industry. You have newer adjusters in the industry. If you look on social media, when they talk about independent adjusters, like I said in my last episode, it's flattering. You can make over $100,000 and work maybe 8 to 9 months out the year. Over 200,000 if you're in the right sector of the field. So it makes you say, okay, wait a minute, let me try this. And then you don't even have to go to school that long for this. So, I mean, it's a field that now it's competitive. You got more competition in this field. And I'm saying, how are we going to stay in the game? What do we do to stay in this game? And we know that the insurance companies have a budget that they're going to stick with. They have their staff adjusters, and these staff adjusters have AI. The competition is here. And then with our deployments getting shorter, because someone even said, well, we still have a contract with blah blah blah, the firm I'm normally with. And I'm like, well, you got a contract, but they're not using us. What's the use of having a contract and they're not using us? And then when we get on the deployments, we're praying and hoping that we do our job so great, somehow they will keep us and see us as valuable, which we're already valuable. We come to them with so many skills. We come to them fully trained. Majority of us do, especially the seasoned one. We come fully trained. We hop right in and we begin to work those claims and get those caseloads down and get those customers paid. We get those claims closed. Those insurance companies no longer cared about customer service. The only thing they cared about was that bottom line, was that dollar. And the way that they can shrink their budget, the way they can get up underneath the budget is to use independent desk adjusters less. Now the question is, how do we stay in the field? What's the future of independent adjusters? Are we just out? I beg to differ. Now, I feel we do have a competitive edge, but we're going to have to be more skillful. We're going to have to, we're going to just have to do more. And this is what I pretty much have for us of what we can do, to pretty much stay in this field. And I wrote down some notes here so you can understand. I've done research and I just want to make sure, because this is an industry that I love. This is an industry that I'm in, and I'm fighting for this industry and making sure that we're able to stay in the game and that we're able to stay valuable, because we have too many skills. We have a lot of skills that we have acquired from this position. Now, number one, I have of how we can pretty much stay in the game. We're going to have to master both fields, the both field adjusting and desk adjusting. I've never been in the field. I'm going to be honest. I've never been in the field, but now the way things look, I'm willing to go out there. I'm willing to go out there in that field because I want to be well versed in both. I do know that there are some adjusters I know personally that have been in the field, and they're also a desk adjuster. And a lot of times, especially when they come to reconciling and looking at those photos and knowing where what goes, they have mostly a better advantage because they've been in the field, they've been on top of that roof, they've felt the construction, they've looked at it firsthand. That right there is an upper edge to where you can let a recruiter know, or a firm know, or insurance company know, I have both field and desk experience. Who wouldn't want that? You done been in the field and the desk? Yeah, that's going to be key. That's going to be key to be in both fields. And how do you transition from the desk to the field, or vice versa? I think transitioning from the desk to the field would be a little bit harder than transferring from the field to the desk, unless you're just an outdoors person and you don't like to be, in a confined space all day. That would be a problem. But I've seen people go from the field to the desk quite easily. I think transitioning from the desk to the field would be more of a problem, because I'm going to say, even with myself, I'm saying, oh my gosh, Canticia, you're going to have to go to that field. You're going to have to be well versed in both. And the only way I can do it, I got to get out there. I got to change with the firms, my criteria, to let them know, hey, I'm willing to go out in the field as well. Let me get this ladder. Let me get what I need. Let me get the training that I'm going to need to go to the field. First of all, let me take that rope and harness class. Let me go personally in person, because some firms have where you can come in person. They have the whole setup where you can pretend like you're getting on the roof using your ladder. You are looking at every aspect of that roof. You're learning how the inside work. You're learning how to sketch and scope. And you're learning also the required paperwork you need for when you're in the field, the required photos you need when you're in the field. Those are going to be the additional things that we're going to have to do if we want to stay competitive And one, again, that's going to be mastering the field and the desk. That's pretty much, that's one thing we got to do. Then also we have to be knowledgeable. We have to know different aspects of this industry. I've worked property claims. That's what I've worked. I've worked property claims, large loss. And I remember a company was hiring, but they were looking for auto adjusters, and they were hiring immediately. I didn't have any auto experience, but I did have some friends that had property and auto experience. So them easily getting into that deployment was easy for them because they had that auto experience. I didn't have it. You're going to have to be well versed and more knowledgeable than just in one sector. Because I have property, I don't have auto. I need auto experience. What about large loss, flood claims? That's going to be a good one. Knowing the flood claims and what needs to be paid in flood, and how to adjust the flood claim. We're going to have to expand our knowledge. We got to expand our knowledge. That's the only way that we're going to be able to be competitive in this. Because at the end of the day, you know, if we get desperate enough, independent adjusters, we don't mind going staff, because I know a number of independent adjusters went staff. You have more stability with staff. Maybe not flexibility, but you have more stability, and at least you know that your bills are getting paid. You're not getting behind. You're not losing things because you're waiting for deployment. So that's going to be another thing there, to where we will start pretty much going to be staff. But if you're going to be staff, you want that resume packed with the knowledge that you have, and showing that you're versatile. You can go to auto, you can go to large loss, you can go to property, because you have experience in all of those. So that's going to be another key that we need. We need to expand our claim knowledge. And don't be afraid to step out the box and get that information. Don't be afraid to go out and take extra training if you don't have that information. And I'm going to tell you the next key: be flexible and go the extra mile. Adjusters that are willing to go above and beyond the call of duty. Now I'm going to tell you, you know how you've worked with those people that says, you know what, I'm not doing that because that wasn't in my contract, or I don't get paid to do that. As a business owner, you know, with my logistics company, that's not the type of person I would want to hire, nor that I would want to keep on my staff. And those are the things I think about when I think about reopening my logistics business that I have on pause. How would I staff going forward? I'm looking for people that are willing to go the extra mile. And that's how you stay deployed. You know, I must say, when I first got on my first deployment, first couple of deployments, I was hired and then I was released early. They didn't really know me. I didn't have that many skills. But then as my deployments become a little bit more frequently, I was in there. I was in a consistent rotation. That's why I'm saying to you, this period that we're in, most people can say, oh, this is what insurance companies do. We'll be fine. You're overreacting. No. Once I got into rotation, I was working. I worked. I worked all the time. Like I say, I would go from frozen pipe season to hail season. From hail season, I will ride that to hurricane season. I maybe will be off at the end of December, January, but I was right back to work. End of January, beginning of February. I was working frozen pipe season. That's not the case. I was out of work 2024 November, and I'm still out. I still haven't been called back. And I'm gonna tell you something. This is why I know the industry is shifting. It is shifting. And that's why we have to learn to be competitive. This is why you're going to have to go there with a great attitude, professionalism on every deployment. You get that deployment, perform, stay on task. Ask, how can I help someone else? What can I do? Show off your skills, because those managers can help you stay deployed. You can be there to the very last. And that's how I began to understand with my deployments. I was always like the last one hanging in there. The last one hanging in there. When everybody else was gone months before me, I was the last one hanging in there because I went above and beyond, and I built a great rapport with my managers, even with the leads. I built a great rapport with them. And that goes a long way. I'm telling you, if you build that rapport and you show that you're eager to learn and to help other people, don't be one of the ones, oh, this is above my pay grade, oh, this, blah, blah, blah. No, get in there and help. See what you can do, how you can be a problem solver. Problem solving bring money to you. You find a problem to solve, it'll bring you some money. So keep that in mind when you're on these deployments, that this is a skill that you want to have. You want to be flexible and you want to go the extra mile. Now, the next one I'm going to talk about is going to be additional certifications and licenses. Yeah, you want to be licensed. You want to have as many licenses as you can because that makes you more valuable. You can handle more customers. Hawaii, New York, yes. Somebody said to me, well, Conticio, do you think maybe you're not called back because you don't have New York or Hawaii license? Could be, because I don't have either one of those, and that's the truth. But having those additional licenses will bring you back to work. They will bring you back to work. They should bring you back to work before anyone else, because you know what? You took the time to take another test, to get tested, and you passed that test. You got New York, you got Hawaii. That makes you more valuable, that you can handle New York claims and Hawaii claims. Another way you can stand out, get that flood certification. FEMA has a flood certification program. See what's that about. Get into that program with FEMA. I must say, currently, I am waiting to go with FEMA. I have my orientation that's going to start a little bit at the end of this month. And I had to go there. I had to flip the switch. I said, you know what? Independent adjusting right now, it's a little slow for me. So let me go ahead and find another outlet that I can continue to make money and pay my bills. Bills still have to be paid. They still come every month, even though you don't have work. So you're going to have to be flexible. But anyways, the flood certification, FEMA do have that. Also, Xactimate certification, level 1, 2, or 3. That's going to be key. I'm going to tell you why I know that's key as well. Because recently I was talking with a contractor. He told me he was looking for 2 estimators, right? And I said, okay, well, I am an independent claims adjuster. I have worked with, a number of insurance companies. I supplement. I know how to write estimates, selling myself to him. Even though I know how to do those things, he asked me a question: are you Xactimate certified? I'm not Xactimate certified, but I am Xactimate trained. Does that make a difference? Yep, because some people look for that certification. Just like some companies still look for degrees, which I say, if you got experience, I don't know why they, worry about degree if you have that experience, But he asked me that, and I did not have that certification. So I feel that that's another way that you can invest in yourself. And when you present yourself to these companies, yeah, I am Xactimate certified. I'm level 2, level 3. That let them know that you've taken the time, you got your certification, you know what you're doing, you're ready to hop in and work. That certification is going to be key. And stability certification, which is normally used by Allstate. Get stability. They may ask because some construction company may have claims for Allstate. They may have claims for State Farm. So all companies don't use the same estimating system. You got stability, you got Xactimate, and there are some other ones out there as well that these companies are using. So just keep that in mind. Being versatile, getting those extra certifications, especially right now when you're off, you off. So you might as well take the time to invest in yourself and sharpen up your skills. So when the opportunity do come, you already got it. You got exactly what you need. Take this time that's off right now, sharpen up on those skills. Also, you can do HAG. You can get a certified roofing inspector. Those third parties that a lot of companies are using now. What is it called? Seek Now, Hancock. They use those companies. What's the other one? There's another one that they use. Those companies, and they have those companies go out there, get on that roof, take those pictures, send the pictures in, boom. Now, I don't know how much those companies pay. Someone did tell me that they worked with those companies before and they don't pay a lot. But I can tell you, just being a certified roofer inspector, you never know where that may take you or what construction company may hire you just because you have that certification. That could be something good as well. Also, just remember, don't be afraid to cast your net a little wider. If right now independent adjusting is slow, you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to pivot. I did. I'll be honest. I pivoted and I had to because I just don't have a choice, you know. And it took me a little while to get back on with FEMA. I'm in and I'm going to my orientation and I'm hoping that that would last me for a little bit. We'll see how that goes. But you got to learn to pivot and don't be afraid to pivot. Another skill I want you to understand, you're going to have to sharpen up on your soft skills. Mm. Active listening and communication is a key, especially when you're dealing with policyholders who have lost everything. You're going to have sympathy, empathy, and you're going to have to be able to listen. I'm going to tell you something. I do not like when I'm talking and I'm constantly interrupted. Constantly interrupted. It just takes me out of the conversation, you know. So one of the skills that I've learned is that when someone interrupts me, I'll just be quiet and I'll let them talk. When they finish, I go ahead and start talking again. They cut me off again, I just talk. I say, okay, I'll let you go ahead and go. You know, having that empathy and able to control the conversation or the flow of it is going to definitely be key for us. All right. Also, reading comprehension. Knowing the policy, understanding policy language. If you don't know, ask. Get to know policy, get to know how to read it. And I know there's different policies, but having a basic understanding will take you a long ways. And if there's some things you don't know, ask. Because that's how we learn. That's how we stay equipped. Also, critical thinking. Because normally when we're working claims, what's the one thing they tell us? Make a decision. Yeah. Making strong coverage decisions will be key. You want to be able to make that decision. And I'll tell you another thing. When you learn how to make a coverage decision, that also bleeds over into your personal life. When you got to make a hard choice, you got to make a hard decision with these claims. You will also be able to make that hard decision in your personal life. Because if you need to pivot, you're going to pivot. If you need to go another direction, you're going to go another direction because you're used to making those hard decisions. Those things to me are going to be key. Now, my final thought pretty much is the industry is evolving, you guys, but independent adjusters are still needed. I know they have AI. AI is doing a lot. AI, I would say, is filling in the gap. But AI is not us. AI does not have this voice. AI can't show compassion and understand and tell the policyholder, whomever it is, gosh, I understand because I had that same type of experience. AI can't do that. So I know they can't fully replace us, but we got to learn how to compete with AI. We got to learn how to change enough to where we are competing with AI as well. Now, let me know your thoughts. Am I over exaggerating on the shift that is taking place, or do you understand what I'm saying? Let me know what shift you're taking. Share your comments with me on this subject. How can we compete with AI? What can we do to make sure that our industry, the independent adjuster industry, not only independent adjuster, but claims industry, period. Because there's a company called Lemonade, which that's going to be my next one. My next conversation is going to be who is Lemonade? That's closing claims within 2 minutes. Yeah. Stay tuned for my next episode, Who is Lemonade? And we're going to dive deep into Lemonade. And I think that's one of the corporates why adjusters are being used less. They have an AI system that they're relying on. So stay tuned for that. Now, my next segment is going to be who's hiring. Pretty much that segment we call Who Holds Your Next Paycheck. Just like my last episode, no one knows. No one had anybody that was hiring. The two people I had was FEMA and going staff. Staff is going to be a little bit more, I would say, dependable. You have stability right now, the way that things are shifting for us. That's my opinion. We're in a shift and it's shifting. And so going staff may be a little bit more dependable for you, but also I say even going staff, you have AI at play here. AI isn't going anywhere. So we just got to know how to work AI to the best of our ability. How can we take AI and use it for us as well? I do know that FEMA is still hiring. I do have the form that you can complete for FEMA. But you'll need someone to complete it though. You need someone from FEMA who will do a referral for you. And the link is in the form to apply. I'm not going to lie. FEMA take a little minute. And I don't even know if it's going to be slower now with what's going on in our country. But FEMA do take a little minute to get anything going. But it is still a possibility that you can get on with FEMA. If you want that form, you have someone that can complete that form for you. You can email me at POV as in Victor at beyondtheclaim.com. That's B as in Papa, or as in Oscar, V as in Victor at beyondtheclaim.com. Email me and I'll send you back that link. I'll send you the form, but remember, you're going to have someone to complete it for you. Those are the two people that I have so far right now who's holding your next paycheck. I will also say take a look at the smaller insurance companies. I am showing a trend that they're keeping their people. They may have some independent adjusters there, but they are keeping them, and they're also asking them to go staff with them. Now, to wrap up, are you feeling the effects of this shift? What are you doing to stay competitive? Let us know. Hey, subscribe to the podcast. Put me on notice to where you get a notification when the podcast airs. Also, give a thumbs up. Give me comments. Even if it's constructive criticism, that's fine. That's fine. I can always be better. And I know that I am going to get better. But let's get this conversation going. Remember, always remember to let us know who's hiring as well. This is how we get the word out. You can always, if you don't want to put in the chat, email me, POV at beyondtheclaim.com. That's POV, V as in Papa, or as in Oscar, V as in Victor, at beyondtheclaim.com. Let us know who's hiring. Or if you want to be a part of the podcast and you have credentials, you have some experience, or you just got something on your mind that you can really share that will help us, email me. Let me know that you want to be a part of this podcast. I want you here. Independent adjusters, public adjusters, staff adjusters, construction workers, contractors, attorneys. I want you here because I want to dive deep into this industry and know how we can use our skills to be versatile from one sector of it to the next sector. Again, one more thing I want to tell you. There's enough room in the sky for every bird to fly. You don't have to be a gatekeeper. Let us know your thoughts about the industry and how you see it. And if you have any information you can share, how we can pivot, how we can stay relevant, please share it. Put it in the comments. We are here to view these comments, to open up this discussion. We're here to help one another. Also, if you are a homeowner, you can also ask an adjuster. You have maybe a broad question you want to ask. We don't know your policy, but you may have just a standard question or a broad question you want to ask. Put it in the chat. And what we'll do, we will ask adjusters. We'll get in the round table, ask adjusters, and we'll let you know what we came up with. Until then, remember, this podcast is unfiltered, it's unapologetic, and always beyond the claim. I'm Conticia, and bye for now.